For a majority of Destiny's lifespan, sniping has been one of the most effective ways to take down enemy guardians in the Crucible. From player favorites like the Longbow Synthesis and 1000 Yard Stare in Destiny 1, to the Revoker and the Beloved in Destiny 2, if you were able to effectively use a sniper in your loadout, you were often very successful in both 3v3 and 6v6 playlists. However, with sniping comes a little bit of a learning curve that, once mastered, can really improve your overall KD ratio. Welcome back to the channel, my name is Man of Cole, and here's how to get better at sniping. Alright, if you're watching this video, I'm going to be assuming one of two things. The first being that you are someone that is truly seeking how to get better at sniping and not just looking for an easy way to get better. The second is that you are trying to learn how to snipe, whether that means more consistently or to increase your KD. While KD isn't the end-all be-all sign of how good a person is in PvP, it usually indicates a player's raw skill and how effectively they can perform on average. By the way, if you like watching these types of videos, I make content like this every single week. If you want to watch more videos like this one, I will put links to them on the top right of your screen right now, as well as in the description. You can also subscribe to the channel and click on the bell so you will get notified when I post my weekly videos. With that being said, here are some strategies that can help you whether you are just starting out or you are looking to further develop your sniping skills. Let's start with probably the most important one on the list today, and that is your positioning on the map. 9 times out of 10 when a person loses a sniping engagement or gets killed when they are trying to snipe, it is because of their positioning. Like I said, this is the #1 thing that is going to separate an average sniper from a good sniper. Anyone can sit in their scope and hold an angle until someone walks directly into their reticle. And with a majority of the player base having already played on most of the maps in Destiny 2, there really aren't any new angles that people haven't been killed from. When sniping, it's important that you are constantly trying to give yourself the most efficient one-way angle that you can. What do I mean by one-way angle? You want to find angles that will block off any other possible ways for your opponent to get a shot off on you, while also giving you the angle to where you can see them and shoot them. This is a term I have come to learn from playing a few other games, and has really taught me how important it is to be thinking of my physical positioning on the map. Another thing to note as kind of like a 1B is to be aware of the hotspots on every map. Usually the hotspots on the map are going to be somewhere in the center of the map or where there are really long sight lines. If you're playing in 6v6 playlists, you can 100% expect these areas to be saturated with players. Take that knowledge and find those one-way angles that allow you to just keep picking off opponents one by one. This smoothly leads us into our next tip, which is to be unpredictable and never peek the same angle twice in a row. This also is a tip that can turn an average sniper into a good sniper. However, most average snipers can probably get away without doing this tip against the average PvP player. But what happens when you come across a team with a few really good players? Do you think you'll be able to keep getting those kills in the same spot every single round or every single time you step foot in that location? If you answered no, then pay attention to this tip. It can become a very bad habit to revisit the same place you got a kill with a sniper previously. I mean, it makes sense, right? If something works, keep doing it until it doesn't. That's true for some things, but if you're really trying to become a better sniper, then changing up your locations and which angles you peek after each round or after each kill is the most effective way to play in the Crucible. You will see your best results against better players if you practice this, because against good players, you won't be able to peek the same lane 2 times in a row without getting killed. To be a good player, you have to be unpredictable. An unpredictable player is the hardest player to play against because, well, you never know where they're going to go or which angle they're going to hold. This is the single most important thing that can turn you from an average player to a good player. From a 1 KD to a 1.5 or even a 2.0 KD. I promise you will see massive improvement in your gameplay if you practice these 2 things. However, the next ones are going to put you over the edge and make you a great player. This next tip is one that might take a little longer to fully adjust to, as it's the most mechanically demanding tip of the bunch today, but it's going to complement the first 2 tips a crap ton if you genuinely practice it. So let's talk about crosshair placement. If you are unfamiliar with what I mean by crosshair placement, well, it means you pay attention to where your crosshair is placed. I know, earth-shattering, right? But no, really think about it for a second, or go watch a clip that you have recorded recently and pay attention to where your crosshair is on your screen. When you're moving around, is it at head level most of the time, or is it pointed directly into the dirt, or is it up in the air? Crosshair placement seems like a very basic concept, but when practiced and executed, can significantly increase your efficiency in fights. Now, if we really want to get down into the nitty-gritty part of crosshair placement, we could also discuss the difference between strafing and flicking. I looked to some of my clanmates and asked them, if you were to give advice to someone who was trying to get better at sniping or was just trying to learn how to snipe, what advice would you give them? One of my clanmates brought up that when he's trying to correct his aim onto a target, he prefers to strafe into the shot so that his crosshair always stays at head level. On screen right now or sometime around here, I'm hopefully showing you what he means. The other way of adjusting your aim is to flick onto your target. This is something that you have probably seen in a majority of the clips in the background of these videos. I noticed that I tend to flick onto targets whenever I need to make a quick adjustment. Flicking boils down to muscle memory of your in-game sensitivity. Whether it is on a mouse and a keyboard or on a controller, your muscles will need to get used to the repetition of flicking onto a target, getting the kill, and remembering that same motion for the next time that it needs to happen. One thing that my clanmate also mentioned was to not be afraid to explore the versatility of how snipers work in close combat. I love this piece of advice, especially for those of you that are looking to go from an average sniper to a good sniper. Snipers are obviously meant to be more of a long-range combat option, allowing you to effectively engage in combat from a farther distance. However, sometimes there are going to be times where you absolutely need to use your sniper in a close-range gunfight, in which case make sure you also work on your reaction time with shorter, more unexpected angles like I talked about earlier. You can throw a thanks cam in the comments for those tips. The next tip, courtesy of another clanmate of mine, Sly, is one that is a little cliche as it's probably in almost every how to get better at something video, and that is to practice, and practice some more. I mean, there's a reason things become cliche, right? Because there tends to be some truth to it all. I can't tell you how many times people have asked for tips on how to get better at X, Y, and Z, but aren't looking to actually do any of the work to make themselves better. Too many times people just want a quick and easy fix to something that they want to get better at, almost like switching a setting to something else, hoping that it will just magically make them better at their thing that they want to get better at. Well, there's no exception in this case either. Not only is it important to practice so that you can develop a high game sense and increase map awareness, but to go back to the whole muscle memory thing, it takes countless repetitions of an action for your muscle to start remembering exactly what it needs to do in any given situation. In fact, I'm gonna drop some science knowledge on you all because it takes anywhere from 2 to 4 weeks to develop any given muscle adaptation. Let's compare this to when we all first learned how to type. Remember being in grade school and the librarian or the computer teacher would bust out those old Alpha Smart keyboards so that we could practice the proper way to type? I mean, it took years for me to feel fully comfortable typing at a fast speed. Learning how to flick or strafe or even shoot in Destiny is no different. It is going to take time and it is going to take practice before you can totally feel comfortable doing it. Trust me, the more patient you can be, the more results you are going to see. All in all, many players have found great success in sniping in the Crucible. I believe now more than ever, it is the best meta we have ever had in the history of Destiny. There are so many loadout options, and there are so many different viable weapons that are extremely effective. Snipers, shotguns, fusions, sidearms, they all feel really good in the Crucible. So take advantage of this time to really hone in on one particular skill, like sniping, and see where your potential can go. Just another reminder, I make videos like this every single week. If you enjoyed the content, make sure you subscribe to the channel and click on the notification bell. It really means a lot to me as we are approaching the YouTube partnership requirements. You can also follow me on Twitch and Twitter, just search Man of Colon both and you will find me. Hop in the community Discord channel and join my Destiny clan. Links to all of those, as well as my Patreon, are going to be in the description box below. Thank you all very much for watching. A positive rating is always appreciated, and as always, we'll see ya.